Hey everyone, it's CL, and today I'm going to be doing the cliches tag, and I was actually tagged by Francina Simone. It's the first time someone's actually tagged me for a video, so thank you, Francina. I will link her channel down below. Please check it out. She has a really great channel where she talks about books and writing. She's incredibly witty, so check out her channel down below. I will also link down below the original tag creator, so check out that channel as well. So the cliches tag is 10 questions long. I am going to tweak it a little bit. I'm going to tweak the questions and answers a little bit to kind of fit more with my personality and the things that I want to share today. But okay, let's go ahead and get into the questions. Question number 1, actions speak louder than words. A book that wasn't or couldn't be better than the movie. For me, that would have to be War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. I know that movie is hit or miss with people. They either love it or hate it. I personally love that movie. It's one of my favorites. I thought it was really well done. The actors did an amazing job. The visuals were pretty incredible. I love that movie, and I'm the type of person that will put myself in the character's shoes. Like, what would I do if I was in that situation? And I came to the conclusion that I would probably be dead in the first scene. So, War of the Worlds, love the movie. Number 2, The Grass is Always Greener on the Other Side, Rags to Riches story. Now, the book that I'm going to highlight is The Millionaire Next Door. Now, this isn't necessarily a rags to riches story, but what I like is that when you think of millionaires, you automatically think of like successful actors and actresses. You think about sports athletes, but this book really highlights that millionaires could also be the average Joe. Like, it talked about a man, or it gives like little stories, and it talks about how a man who passed away, it was found upon his death that he had millions upon millions of dollars that he ended up donating to charity upon his death. But when they interviewed his neighbors, they were like, yeah, he was really quiet, he kept to himself, he rode the bus to work every day for like 40 years. So it's not your traditional millionaire, not one of those people that you see on TMZ that just dumps money out the window. So I really like this book, that rags to riches, that not just 1% of the population can be a millionaire. Millionaires can also be the average person next door. It could be you, and it talks about how to be wise with your money, and not necessarily cheap or stingy, but just being wise as far as putting money away into like a 401k or an IRA, being more smart with your money, and that how gradually you could also become a millionaire. So rags to riches can apply to all of us. Question number 3, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, a parent-child relationship that you love. Now, when I think of this question, I automatically think about my little apple, Elle. Now, I want to say that she inherited some good qualities from me as far as being loving, she's a thinker, but at the same time, she inherited some really not so great qualities like her anxiety, and that's something that I talk a lot about on my channel. It's just part of my life. So the reason why I'm talking about this now is because I want to highlight some books that don't really get talked about on BookTube, books that don't necessarily come up, but there are a lot of books out there that can help you in your daily lives. So for question number 3, I'm going to highlight these books here. Freeing Your Child from Anxiety, Why Smart Kids Worry, The Opposite of Worry, The Playful Parenting Approach to Childhood Anxieties and Fears. So for my life, I read a lot of anxiety books, but you know, there are a lot of books out there that don't get mentioned on BookTube that could really help you in your daily life, whether it be depression, anxiety, just getting over things in general, like viewing yourself in more of a positive light. There's a lot of books out there, so really explore and check them out. Number 4, you can't judge a book by its cover. A great book that needs a better cover. Now, for me, that is like the entire romance section at my local Barnes & Noble. And the reason why I say that is because whenever I go to Barnes & Noble, I think that, you know, the genre itself must be popular. The section is pretty large, and when I pick up a book, it's always like one of the volumes in a long series. So I know the genre must be popular, the books must be good for people to keep coming back, but for someone who doesn't read romance, those covers are an absolute turnoff. It's so cheesy. Like is there some sort of rule that if you write a romance novel, it has to have the cheesiest cover ever? It's always like a guy tilting back a girl and they're almost about to kiss, or it's of a man that's really fit that has his shirt off and you barely see his face, all you see is like his abs. And it's just, for myself, for someone who's interested in the genre but can't quite make the leap because the covers are such a turnoff, it's hard. Like, I don't care what your abs look like. If you have a douchebag personality, it's a no-go for me. So I wish romance novels would have better covers. I hope to one day just kind of close my eyes and pick up one of the novels to get into the genre, because I do want to explore that genre. I just wish they had better covers. Number 5, You Can't Please Everyone, book that you hate that everyone loves, and for me that would have to be Ethan Frome. Now if you read the reviews for this book, a lot of people will give it 5 stars. They will package it as like a classic tragic love story, very well written, so beautiful. Now for me, I gave that book 1 star. I thought the main character, Ethan, got what he deserved. He was a cheating bastard that got what he deserved. If I was his wife, I would have left him to rot away in his own puddle of pee. That's just me. I give it 1 star. I will not read that book again. I do not agree with 5-star reviews. I didn't like it. Number 6, What Doesn't Kill You Makes You Stronger. What's a book that made you a better person for having read it? Now, I wouldn't say it necessarily made me a better person, but it made me feel better about myself. And that is the book Quiet, The Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. And I've talked about this book before, and this is somewhat of a more recent read. Like, I think I read this last year, but it made me feel better about myself. Like, I have talked about this before on my channel, that I'm very, very introverted, very quiet. And for a long time, I have felt like a broken person. Like, when God was putting me together, something must have broke along the way, because I'm always surrounded by extroverts. That was normal to me. It was normal to be an extrovert. Being an introvert was so abnormal. Like, something must have went wrong when I was created. And for a long time, I felt like I was a broken person. But after reading the book, it made me feel a lot better about myself, that maybe I wasn't a broken person. Maybe I'm just a limited edition type human, but I'm still special in a different way. But yes, that book really touched a spot within me that made me feel better about myself. Number 7, Love is Blind, a book with a disabled character or actual blind love. And that would have to be this book here, The Taking. Now, the insta love in this book was so bad that it was a borderline DNF for me, but thankfully I plowed through it. It was so terrible. I mean, there's the main girl character, and then the guy just falls in love with her instantaneously. It feels like it within a split second, you know? And then she bosses him around, and he has no balls. He just goes along with whatever she says. His answer to everything is like, okay, yes, I'll do it because I love you. That's his answer to everything. I hated the insta love in this book. Total blind love. Didn't like it. Number 8, Ignorance is Bliss, a book that you know is bad but too afraid to admit it. Now, I don't really have an answer for that question, because if I think a book is bad, I'm not afraid to admit it. I'll just say it was pretty bad, but I like reading it. Number 9, There's No Time Like the Present, your favorite contemporary book. I would have to say that would have to be the Shopaholic series by Sophie Kinsella. I just think that they're really funny. I love those books and I really read through them really quickly. So yeah, the Shopaholic series. Number 10, last question. Better Safe Than Sorry, a book you don't want to read because it's bad. I'm gonna steal Francina's answer for this question, which is J.K. Rowling. I am afraid to read any of her other books outside of Harry Potter because right now I hold her at a 10, and I don't want to read something of hers that is really bad and kind of bring down my level of how much I love J.K. Rowling. But also, I also think about science books. Like, I love learning about science, but it's one thing to watch a documentary or a special on TV where they like give you visuals and kind of explain it in a way that's easy for the viewer to understand and it's really creative. As opposed to reading like a science book, gosh, as much as I love science, I don't want to necessarily read a science book because I automatically think that it will be incredibly dry, and that it won't hold my attention. Like, I'm afraid to read a science book because it will be so bad that I will just lose interest. So yeah. Those are the 10 questions for the cliches tag. Who do I tag? I tag anyone watching this video, even if you don't have a channel. Maybe you should start a channel and also do this tag. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Francina, for tagging me for the very first time to do a tag video. So thank you so much, and thank you all for watching, and I will see you later. Hey everyone, it's CL, and it is July 5th. I normally do my writing updates on Monday, but yesterday was the 4th of July.